this going here. I believe that we're live and we're feeding out to the folks out there. You guys need to give me a mic check here on the microphone because this is a completely different one than I was using when I was on the road. So let me know if we're coming in, if I'm coming in too low, too loud, all of that kind of stuff. We're about to kick this show off here, and I'll give everyone a couple of seconds. Imaginary. I know there's like a little bit of a delay going on here. You're joining us live here on Utreon. If you're not joining us live on Utreon, the reason for that is we are on Utreon. We're on Utreon so we can show these things right here, ARs or any other kind of firearms for that matter. This is my Sig 516 Patrol. We're gonna have some other stuff, cool stuff like that we could share with you guys. But this is why we're live on the Utreons. You can go over there, you can subscribe. It's like YouTube and it's like Patreon, and they allow us to do freedom things like handling firearms while we're live. So crazy. Some people have some kind of stupid rules that don't stop anything. But anyway, that being said, I haven't heard anyone complain about the audio. I'm gonna get everyone loaded up here. We're gonna make BabyFace Pete for the sake of symmetry. I think we should make Patrick the.
It's a reverse. No, this is an Oreo.
No, this is an Oreo. You're
regular Oreo.
Yeah, you are the cream. You are the cream in the Oreo. So let's see. Let's get this going here. If everyone's ready, I think I'm ready. Let me. I don't know. Where's the button I'm supposed to even press? Hey, let me just do this. I'll just go this way.
Welcome back to the Hank Strange Situation. Lifestyles of the Locked and Loaded.
We wouldn't be able to keep the Who Moved My Freedom podcast going without the support of great companies like Franklin Armory. Franklin Armory provides 100% US-made firearms and awesome binary option triggers. Their focus and purpose is to provide freedom tools to all Americans, especially those in not-so-free states. So when you're in the market, please consider Franklin Armory. All right, we are back and we are live. Let's get the jazz hands going. We got to do it. We got to do tradition. There you go. Come on, Rod Mills. That's all you got? One hand? Seriously? I hope you guys have your big girl panties on because, as I said, we are live and this is episode 901. 901 of the Who Moved My Freedom podcast. That means there's exactly 99 beers a bottle. Bottles of beer, not beer's a bottle. Bottles of beer left on the wall before we hit 1,000 episodes, and I'm gonna try to make this as special as I can. These next 100 episodes. So Lola and myself are working on getting some awesome guests, people who've been on before, people who've maybe never been on, and all that kind of stuff. You guys' favorites, all that kind of stuff. Of course, we took last night off so that we could, it was Memorial Day, so we were recognizing that. So we didn't have Free for All Monday. We're gonna have Free for All Monday and all of that going. But tonight in episode 901, we've got Rod Mills. There he goes. He went to NRAAM 2022 in Houston, Texas. There you go. And as kind of like a side question that I'm going to ask here tonight, is the NRA even relevant? We're going to get into that. Rod Mills actually went. I didn't go. Babyface P, who's also here.
Did not. Busy.
Yeah, it's rhetorical. I know you didn't go. But because I saw you this weekend, we were doing something. But yes. So we're gonna get all up in that right now. What's going on, folks? What's up with you guys?
Man, just relaxing since, boy, I've never worked so hard on my vacation ever. It's different when you go into NRAAM as a businessman versus just to kind of enjoy things. So it's totally different, but as enjoyable. A lot of, a couple of faces. We had a couple of new faces there. A couple of old faces I saw, and got a chance to touch base with a lot of folks, and overall, it was a pretty productive trip for me and my company.
Okay, very cool. I guess Patrick, we should let Rod Mills answer my question I just posed here first, right?
What's
Do
the
you,
question?
like my question was, is the NRA even relevant?
Um,
What say you to that, Rod?
to answer that question, I'm going to say yes, they are. However, not as relevant as they have been in the past. Through unfortunate, their own issues that they brought up and caused and made public. But you can't tell that to the protesters that were out there. To the protesters, they were as relevant as night and day. But we in the industry, we know there's a different NRA from the inside versus what a lot of people perceive on the outside.
Okay, all right, I'll take that. Patrick, do you wanna answer that question here?
Remind me of the question. Sorry, I'm reading
Is
through news.
Oh, is the NRA even relevant to you? Is it relevant?
No. No, not really.
Hmm. You want to give
It's
any
funny.
specific
It's
reason?
funny that the news and the left thinks they are the boogeyman of the gun world or something. It's crazy, but we're past the NRA. They I guess they like to say like, oh no, the NRA and the gun lobby's doing this again. And it's like, no, we're just telling our Congress people how to vote, how we like them to vote. That's pretty much it.
Yeah,
The
I think
NRA
that
hasn't done anything positive in the last 25 years,
not for the
maybe
Second
longer.
Amendment. Maybe for them,
Yeah.
maybe for themselves. Just I mean,
If
and
you like
as Rod
suits
says, they've
and
damaged
cars and
themselves.
expensive vacations, then maybe they did have done great things.
Yeah. My answer to my own question would be no. I don't think they're relevant. That's just my personal thing. I think I understand exactly what Rod is saying, and I'm not trying to counteract. I think one of the things I like about doing this podcast is we don't all, me personally, I don't believe in like just preaching to the choir, right? I'm
Hmm.
fine listening to other people's points of view and opinions, and I definitely wouldn't knock people going to the NRA show because I missed it myself. It's it was the show that I look forward to every year, because I actually got to see those folks out there that I was in this with, not just the companies, not just my fellow content creators and patriots and folks who believe in the Second Amendment, but really the people out there who actually look at what I do, and who support all of us regardless of what role we play in this. But to me, yeah, I really do think the NRA is completely irrelevant. Those folks out there protesting, that's a knee jerk reaction. You know, the NRA is kind of the poster child, and this
Hmm.
knee jerk reaction that they're having is really the NRA is only really just going to compromise at the end of the day, right?
The
They
NRA
they
is not going to do anything for us.
Yeah, well, I think that they like people protesting them. I think they like that. I think it
They
makes them feel relevant that people are
It
protesting them.
gives them money. It gives them power.
Yeah,
It's free publicity.
yeah,
It's
it
free.
is.
Exactly.
It is. It's free publicity. And look, let's not forget this. There's still about 5 million Americans who faithfully just support the NRA and have no clue what we would talk about if we say that we have grievances with the NRA. They're like, what are
Hmm.
these guys talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I can't tell you this. There was a point when Trump was giving his dissertation or speech, and there were those on the floor, on the vendor floor, that were like, you know, I guess they were the sort of anti NRA guys that were there. Because
Hmm.
keep in mind,
Were you at that? Were you there for that speech? Were you in the
no,
room?
no, no, no.
Oh, okay.
They had a closed circuit TV screen showing,
Okay.
and
The room seemed kind
you
of
know,
empty. I saw. I'll bring this up, but you
no,
know.
actually, it was from what I was told that it
Hmm.
was sold out,
Really?
and they were no longer
Okay.
letting people in.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean that's what I was told.
Okay. I could be wrong. I
But
could be wrong on that.
you can tell those people that were like, they're over it. They're just there to market their company and to go from there. It was a few that were, hardcore NRA Trumpers, that were, there. But the main thing that, unfortunately, like the last time when I went was in 2018 in Dallas. There were a lot of people saying, "Hey, you didn't hear anybody talking about the NRA in a negative tone inside of the building." From what I heard,
Okay.
not as much as it was in 2018 with Dallas, and it was more like, let's not say anything bad about the guys, But getting back to the crowd outside, what they don't understand is the NRA is just one of many different pro-gun advocates out there. You got the USCCA, you got the GOA. I mean, I guess they don't know about them yet, and they're going to be.
I mean, I think they know about them. I think there's multiple things that happened, because we had this, because we had this school shooting in Uvalde, which is, obviously that's in Texas. You know, I guess people took this as like, oh, this is a great opportunity. These are the guys. Somehow the NRA or guns or gun owners or people who believe in the Second Amendment represent this evil, like twisted, broken kid who literally went and did something that, you know what? The best way I could describe this is if you've ever seen the prequels, the Star Wars prequels, when Anakin Skywalker goes in there and kills the younglings, right? It's such a weird, crazy thing to look at. Like, to me, it's one of the disgusting things that's in that thing, because my brain cannot fathom how a human being could look at children. Like, we're genetically programmed to look at children and see them as innocent. That's what they are. So anyone who could do that is evil, and somehow, let me just finish this. Somehow everyone equates that to people who believe in the Second Amendment, or the Constitution for that matter. Gun owners, or the NRA, or any pro-2A organization, or even the guns themselves. This thing on its own is evil. It has some kind of heart and soul and mind that it could do an evil thing, and they don't feel that way about anything else, I guess, in the world. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, the crazy thing is that I did maybe 3 interviews while I was there.
Okay.
And I definitely let them know that, hey, nobody in this building, contrary to popular belief, nobody in this building is happy about what happened. Everybody, I'm going to say at least 90% of everybody in the building wanted to find out a way to end this, because keep in mind, everybody in that building had a family. That could have happened to anybody in that building. Okay, so the news spun it around as, hey, we're in there just partying and hooping it up, and which was actually, the mood was sort of
you know what? I'm
gonna
gonna interrupt you, Rod. Who cares if y'all are in there hooting and hollering and living it up? You're not a serial killer or a spree killer who went out and killed people. It has nothing to do with us, with any of us.
How often is it people who, and this is a difficult question, right? Because who falls into our category? But how often is it really people that we would consider under the umbrella or in the bucket of the Second Amendment community that does stuff like this?
Really never.
Like, who most of us are like sheepdogs, right? We want to help people. We don't want to hurt anyone.
That's what we were saying in the inside. It could have happened to anybody in that building. Okay. We're trying to figure out how, actually the mood in the building was, okay, you know what? How can we prevent this from happening? Okay. That's one thing that they didn't say on the news. I brought it to their attention on the news. Whether or not they played it or not, who knows? But I can guarantee you that everybody that interviewed me had that look on their face as to, first and foremost, they see a black guy at the NRA. So first thing they want to do is interview me. Okay, so I'm not going to give you what you.
That's new.
It's funny how that works, isn't it?
I've seen reporters like walk away from me in the past. Like they're looking to interview people, and Lola and myself are walking into the NRA.
They want the dumbest.
They pretend like they don't see you. Yeah.
I imagine they want the dumbest person in the room. Not saying you are, Rod, but I imagine they're looking for that stereotypical hick redneck who's missing teeth or something to make it look like a sideshow. But
yeah. Right. Or
glad they picked you.
Or they're thinking like, hey, here's this black guy. You know, under the pressure of these cameras and these lights, he'll break. And he'll go.
They don't know my professional background. They don't understand that, hey, I worked for 13 years in the NFL in the PR department. I'm no stranger to a camera and a microphone and a reporter. Okay. So, you know, but when I answered their question, I answered it intelligently, and it was totally not what they were expecting to hear. You know, I let them know that, hey, we're all a family in here. The one thing that we can say that does bring us all together is our love and passion for guns and the Second Amendment. They weren't thinking that they didn't. I'm sure they didn't think that I would say that. Okay, I mean, unfortunately, how many times do you ever see African Americans talking about the Second Amendment? Hardly ever. Okay.
In the past, I think now there's a lot of people. There's a lot of.
Right. We're to the point now where, hey, you know what? We feel that we've gotten to a certain part where, hey, you know, we got our other rights. We need to get this right here as well. But, you know, like I say, man, it was, and another thing, it was crazy. USCCA had a sort of like an after mixer after the NRA convention was over for Friday. And the event was actually about a half of a mile down the street.
Okay. Guess
what? Those same people that were protesting were in there with us. Not one person said one word.
What do you mean? Wait. Hold on a second. The people who were protesting outside went to the mixer?
Yes.
Why?
Yes.
What did they go there
for?
Okay,
so the mixer, and let me explain this. The mixer only had, there was a huge type venue where they had a live band. They had the regular public area, and then the USCCA had their own area, but it was all open.
It was open.
They were all in there with us. Guess what? They left their signs back at where they were protesting. They came out. It was almost like what's the cartoon where the?
So they just came for a show. What was the show? Was there some kind of band or something?
No, they didn't even come for the band. They were just in there eating.
Oh, okay, food. Yeah, I mean,
right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and we were in there eating and drinking.
Yeah.
So, but what's that cartoon with Looney Tunes where the two guys, I think it's a dog and a coyote or something, and they fighting during their work hours, and then afterwards they're friends.
Roadrunner and the Wile E. Coyote.
That's how. Yeah, I know which one you're talking about, and that's
It was
that's how
like
the media is too.
Yeah. Well, they're all in this together.
And it wasn't hard for them to tell who we were because we had our NRA, the little badge things they give you. I mean, we had, stuff saying about guns on our T-shirts or whatever you were wearing. So it wasn't hard for them to know who we were. Okay, right. Not one person said anything or did anything crazy while we were in there.
Yeah, that does sound surreal to me. I mean, I don't,
And you can ask American Gun Chick, James Yeager, all of them were in there with us. Nobody said one thing to us.
Okay,
they're not going to. Did you see? Yeah. Did you see the media latched onto that scrawny ass dude yelling that you're weak or something? Like, do you think he's going to actually say anything to anybody in person? Come on. his arms, you blow on him and his arms would break.
Yeah. I think, the thing that I don't know how much time, we don't have that much time for this part of it before we take a break here. But the thing is, lots of people when this stuff happened try to place blame. There's just one person who's to blame for this whole thing, the person who did it. And whatever tool they use to do something so terrible, in my opinion, it doesn't make any difference. We can't wave a magic wand and take it out of the world. This guy could have used a vehicle and run into a crowd of children. He could have used a bomb. He could have used some kind of incendiary device to burn the school down. He could have used swords, knives, all kinds of things. All these things that I'm saying are not things I'm just making up. People do this kind of stuff. When someone's broken and twisted and evil and they have problems in the world that lead to them killing their grandmother and then, deciding that they're going to go to a school and take out revenge on little children that can't even fight back against them, and then when the perfect storm happens of the cops, because I want to talk about solutions, but when the perfect storm happens, that the cops that show up there, the people who are supposed to do something, don't actually do anything about that guy who was probably just trying to commit suicide by cop, right?
It seems that way.
What's the solution to that?
It seems that way.
Yeah.
From everything that I'm reading, it seems like what could have been suicide by cop somehow turned into...
He got lucky.
We got a minute left.
Yeah.
Somehow turned into this, I'm just going to go take out my frustration here. And then things are still coming to fruition about, like, the truth is still coming out about what the cops didn't do. And this whole thing is nuts to me.
Yeah.
All of this is nuts. And it has nothing to do, as much as people want to yell about it, it has nothing to do with the tool used.
No. And all of us, I shouldn't say all of us. You don't have kids yet, Patrick, but I know that there's people that you love that that are at risk. You went to school, my kids are still in school, believe it or not, and I worry about this kind of stuff.
I never seriously considered it.
Yeah, it's going to break. Hold on. We're going to hit a...
Walther Arms has been making concealed carry handguns for over 90 years, starting with the PPK. Today, Walther is based in the good old US of A and still builds quality firearms like the PPQ and PDP for personal defense and competition. So when you're in the market, please consider Walther Arms. We wouldn't be able to keep the Who Moved My Freedom podcast going without the support of great companies like Walther Arms.
All right, Patrick, sorry, didn't mean to cut you off there.
No, it's fine. Okay, sorry, I had to get back on track. My brain lost it for a minute. So, I always joked when I was in high school, and I vividly remember joking. There was, I was a band nerd, and even in the band nerds, there were a couple kids that were fucking nuts. And I was always super friendly to them. One, because typically I'm not an asshole. Generally, I'm not an asshole.
Okay.
But two, the joke was always like, if one of them comes to shoot up the school, I'm gonna be that kid that they go, "Oh no, you were nice to me, you can leave." But no, it was never a serious, like, I think these people are gonna come shoot up the school, or even somebody's gonna come from outside. We always just had problems within the school of kids beating on each other. That was really the only issue.
Yeah, I mean, I think school is a rough thing, man. And I've gone to school on different continents of this planet, and it's a rough thing no matter where you go. It's not unique to America. This is human beings. This is a human being problem that we have. There's broken, twisted human beings out there, and when they don't get their way, when they don't get what they want, when something is taken away from them that they feel that they're entitled to, or whatever it is, man, they go nuts.
I've said this before, and I don't exactly know the answer because I think I'm slightly out of touch because life is going well for me. But we have a serious issue with angry young men who think the world is not for them. And I don't, and partially I agree with them. I think the world is a lot of times just a pile of shit. So I
Hey,
feel where they're coming
Patrick,
from. I've never been angry enough to do something like this.
Mm-hmm.
that's not new, Patrick. We had that back when I was in school.
Mm-hmm.
We
You
had
think
those
you
same
like
kind of
really
kids.
like?
Yeah, I think so. I would agree
Then
with that.
then what has changed with? I don't know. I don't know what's changed.
I
mean,
think
Because
I think a massive there's broken people now know that they can get attention, and everyone
I think
wants
that's part of the problem.
everyone wants
Yep.
their 15 minutes of fame or two. Well, I don't know what it is now. It's
Mhm.
maybe it's I don't even think it's 15 seconds of fame. But there's look. What do you think goes through the mind of a person who hates their life so much that they don't decide to
I
destroy
don't
themselves?
honestly know.
They
I
just-
don't honestly know. Because
They're-
I mean, there
We can be-
are. Go ahead, Rod. Go ahead.
We can look at this several different ways. Your way is one way, and I'm going to be honest, I thought about that way as well. Another way, we can also look at how social media has changed
Worst
everybody.
thing. I hate to say it, but it's the worst thing that's happened to society
Yeah.
in the last 100 years. Social media
Yeah.
is an awful thing. As
Yes.
great as it is at times, it is an awful thing at times.
also,
Social media, there are good and bads.
Oh,
Social media brought us all three together. Okay?
Right.
There's a bad part of it. Now, also, I'm going to go ahead and go on the outer edge on this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's do all this. Everybody just collectively, us three, and everybody in the chat, close your eyes. Think about this. Isn't this really, really the perfect time for something like this to have happened? For people who are actually anti-gun.
You're
I
saying
didn't-
it's too coincidental, is what you're saying.
I'm going to say the same thing. Is there a bigger situation going on that our brains can't even fathom this happening? Because the first thing I started saying, like, man, you know what? That's very odd that, everything was kind of quiet until the week of the NRA convention. And what better way to make a statement, and get everything in a tizzy when the NRA convention is here. And I'm thinking like, nah, that couldn't happen. Nah, it couldn't be a conspiracy.
You're not the only person that thinks that way. You're definitely not the only person that thinks that way.
I'm
Listen,
glad. I'm glad
so
of that.
you know what? If there's if
Dims,
there's-
sorry,
go ahead.
Hank, I'm going to
No,
interrupt
go
you
for
real
it.
quick.
Yeah, go for it.
Dims have nothing going for them going into the midterms. I
No.
don't want to say that this was helped along, but it does not hurt their case for what's happening in the country. I completely understand why somebody would come to that conclusion. Let's just say that.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, though, without going to the level of like an Alex Jones and trying to say there's people out there that are deliberately trying
That
to
clock has
engineer
been
these
right
things.
way more than twice. That quote-unquote broken clock of his has been right way more than twice a day. And anybody that doesn't believe me should go do some reading.
Well, one of the things, here's my thing. Here's we could sit here and wonder about it or whatever it is. At the end of the day, okay, there's parents out there who lost their kids, people who lost their wives or their husband, and they're trying to figure it out, like what happens. Now, one of the things I want to say is that every single day this is happening in America. Okay,
Happened today in Charleston.
I'm not just. Well, I know I saw what.
People,
I saw what
today.
I saw what you sent with the Charleston thing. But when I look at that, that's not this exact situation. I think we've got like an issue with gangs and things like that, and how what's happening if you look at something happening at a party, we've seen this over and over a lot. Right? There's parties and things like that gangs get involved in. Then they meet each other at this party. Everything gets crazy. That's been going on for a long time. But not just that. every day there's kids out there who get killed, right?
Right.
There's husbands and wives who get killed. There's innocent people who are getting killed all the time. For lots of different reasons, not just in America, on the face of the planet, in places where there's massive gun control, places where there's no gun control. At the end of the day, the ultimate reason for that is us as human beings. Not every human being. We live in societies and we live in civilization, right? We have communities and all of that because most of us want to get along with each other, want to prosper, want to build something, to grow, and to be happy and have a family and all of that. But there's 7 billion people on this planet. Even a small percentage of those people being broken means we can't do anything to escape from other human beings that just want to they don't care, they don't give a shit. If their life is not going the way that they want it to go, they're like, everyone has to suffer. I'm not just gonna jump off the planet, everyone has to suffer. As many people as I could possibly hurt, I'm gonna hurt because my life isn't happy or happening the way I expect it to happen. Am I wrong about that? Do you guys think there's some other reason why a human being decides to do something like this?
I personally think this, man. It starts. We're a pussified society. Okay, when we grew up, and I can guarantee you, each one of you have went through this. Whereas, hey, you know what? There used to be a situation where we would say it takes a village to raise a child. Okay, they took disciplinary. They took they took church out of the school. Okay, they took the political part out of the school. They took discipline out of the school. Okay, I remember hell back when I was in school. Now, Patrick, you may not have had to go through this, but I guarantee you, me and Hank did, where we would have the Dina boys and Dina girls, and you got in trouble, you got swats.
Yeah, we didn't have that. We should have.
Corporal punishment.
Okay.
And now we got to the point where, okay, we can't go back to that. But guess what? We had our share of fights and everything in school. Yeah, that's going to happen. But you would get your swats at school, and if you had a parent that was a disciplinarian at home,
they'd give you more at home.
When you got home.
Yeah, for people who don't understand SWATs, because I've never heard that before, that's some kind of Jacksonville thing.
No, that is not a Jacksonville thing.
No, what? SWATs?
Hey,
you mean
hey,
so?
No. Okay, so Hank,
the specific name, the specific name of it.
Okay.
I've gotten my ass beaten, if that's what you're talking about, in school.
You got SWAT with you got hit with a damn a paddle. A paddle.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, multiple things. And like you're saying, like if my mom found out that I got in trouble in school for whatever reason,
right,
then I got more trouble from her. I mean,
exactly.
Yeah, my mother believed it.
Parents are too busy trying to be their child's friend instead of being parents. You know what I'm saying? Do your damn job. Make your discipline your
think
kids.
About this. That kid was, for some reason, living with his grandparents. And I say kid lightly. He's 18, so he's technically an adult. Living with his grandparents. That means that there's a fundamental breakdown to begin with, to start with. So.
Well, not necessarily, because guess what? My nephew and nieces, my mom raised them. But I guarantee you now,
why?
Yeah, the question is why. I mean, the same thing happened in my family. It's not a good answer.
Well, the one thing is that my nephew's mother was on drugs. His dad wasn't in the picture, which is my brother, wasn't in the picture. So my mother took it upon herself. Mm-hmm. Now,
and she didn't do anything wrong. She didn't do anything wrong, but that's not the way it's supposed to go.
She just took up the slack from what the parents, his parents were not doing. But I will tell you this, that my mom didn't play. Okay? And when I tell you,
good. No, that's a good thing.
My mom, when I got to the point where, that old saying where with boys you can smell underneath your arm, and you think you're bad then or you get taller than your parents and you think that you're a man now.
Yeah, if you're
Well, I'm gonna tell
smelling,
you
you're
this.
smelling yourself. I mean, that's what my mother
Exactly.
called it.
So
Yeah.
my mom told me to go and rake the yard, and underneath my breath, I said, I ain't finna rake no yard. I never saw that left hook coming. Never saw it coming. I woke up on the ground looking at the sky, wondering how the hell I got on the ground. And my mom stood over me and said, talk back to me one more time, I'm gonna put you under the ground.
So it should be.
We need more parents like that. Like, for those that looked at Good Times Growing Up, a James Evans type parent, that's the kind of parents we need, out here.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to get some of what people are saying, because I know we're kind of ignoring them. Night Train says we overlook a significant factor in mass shootings: fatherlessness.
That's true. No, that's a massive, massive problem, and that's not just with mass shootings. That's across the board.
Across the board, right?
Yeah,
especially in the black community.
Yeah, and DCG
in the inner cities, it's a big problem.
DCG 44 says they put indoctrination in the schools.
I'm just gonna say real quick, blacks were doing great in society. They weren't perfect. They didn't have perfect equality, but blacks were doing great in society before social programs came around. And
adversity makes you stronger. Adversity makes you stronger. Yeah.
Social programs created fatherless homes.
Yeah.
And guess who did that?
Exactly.
The Democrats.
So, 42 Chilled is asking a question I'm not sure I know the answer to. He said, how did a kid afford Daniel Defense guns?
That's my
part-time
question.
Minimum wage for 4 months.
That's kid was making no money. He had $5,000 worth of equipment. Where the hell did he come up with that? Unless he stole
I don't even have
card.
a Daniel Defense.
I'm too cheap.
Yeah, I've got a Daniel Defense. I got a really nice one. But once again, it's not on the. It's a good question if that's true. If that's true, you got to ask yourself that question.
He had two DD4 Mark 7s. He had two very nice rifles.
Right.
So Patrick, think about what I just said. Now, think about what I just said.
I agree, and there has been some news coming out that some sort of ex-Intel person was on the Discord server that this kid belonged to, where he said, hey, I do all this stuff.
Yeah.
So what's going on here?
Yeah, you know what? So as we're skirting around the conspiracy side of this, right? The reason why we're even entertaining the conspiracies right now is because we fucking see it all the time. We're right now dealing. We could just look in the recent past. If you look at Hunter Biden, if you looked at what happened with the Hillary campaign, going to the FBI and going after Trump, you don't have to go far to see where there's all these things that happen. That there's people out there deliberately trying to engineer things. Whatever the cause is, to me, it's not to say that I don't want to do something about it, but ultimately I think we have to deal with when someone gets broken, whether someone pushes them or not, right? Like how we had the guys, what was the state where these retarded dudes went after the governor because they were pushed into it? Michigan.
Retarded.
Yeah.
Huh?
They were baited into it by the FBI. They weren't retarded. They were just malicious.
Come on. So are you gonna attribute high levels of intelligence to them?
I'm not saying they're smart. I'm just saying they weren't retarded. They might have been average IQ people, but they got baited by the FBI into doing everything. Everything. If you look into what the FBI informant baited them into, most of the guys were saying, I'm not really cool with this. I talk a big talk, but this is not really what I'm into. And then he would push them into it, saying, no, we need to go train. We need to get body armor. We need to do this.
Stop talking to people. Stop talking to people like that. I mean, you don't have to, how intelligent do you have to be paranoid?
Yeah.
How intelligent do you have to be to have common sense? You know what I'm saying?
I'm paranoid about everything.
If someone calls me up and says, "Oh yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to make my AR go full auto," I mean,
I don't know
what's the first thing that jumps to my mind is,
yeah, I've had so many people reach
this
out
a
to
setup?
me asking.
Yeah,
Because that's the building is the type of thing that I'm into on YouTube. I've had quite a few people ask, "Hey, can you make this for me? Hey, can you do this?" And I'm like, first off, no, that's illegal, and second off, I'm pretty sure you're an ATF agent, so fuck off.
yeah. So but here's the thing, though. Here's the thing, and man, we're burning through the time here. How
It's amazing. This is a good, interesting talk.
Yeah, what can we actually do about this, though, in the moment when, for whatever reason, right, whatever sets that ball rolling downhill, you come across a broken person who's deciding to do whatever they can to hurt as many people as possible. What can you do?
It's almost impossible to stop that, okay? But what you can do is this. I said this in my interview. We all know I worked for the NFL for 13 years. Guess what? There's never been a mass shooting at an NFL game, an NBA game, an NHL game, or a Major League Baseball game. You want to know why? Tell me why. I'll tell you why.
Security precautions?
Exactly. What they're saying is
mitigation processes.
Right. We don't want to treat our kids living in a prison type environment at school.
The NBA and the NFL are hardened. Why would you harden a school where we put the only thing that's valuable to me is my children. I've got a lot of nice stuff. I could tell you something. Nothing's more valuable than my kids.
It's either your kids die or we heighten security around them. Okay? Wake up. We're not living in the 70s and 60s where it's like Leave It to Beaver, where kids could just go to school and everything.
I'm gonna contest we never lived there. I'm gonna contest that we never lived there. There was a time when there was that illusion, but we never really lived there. There was a time when that illusion that kids are safe was easier to believe that you could do that, but we were never there. You really think we were there?
Disagree.
I don't think we were. I don't think we were ever truly there. It was just an illusion that existed. Maybe I'm different from you guys, but I remember. Listen. I left Nigeria at 11 years old. We had to have armed guards. Now, okay, I was living in Nigeria, but I was living there in the early 80s, the late 70s, early 80s. So maybe you were living in America under that illusion.
Back before the 50s, things were not as bad as they are today. Again, things were different. I'm not going to say they were perfect. I mean, blacks had struggles, Hispanic, and there's all sorts of problems.
But human beings were still killing human beings.
Yes, the U.S. did not look like a third.
We wouldn't be able to keep the Who Moved My Freedom podcast going without the support of great companies like High Point Firearms and Full Forge Gear, bags and gear for everyday life. Did you know High Point is an American family-owned and operated company located in Ohio with over 30 years of manufacturing experience? High Point is proud to be the home of the working man's gun and your source for affordable handguns and carbines with a lifetime warranty. So when you're in the market, please consider High Point.
Yeah, so let me just bring up, and I do think we're having a great conversation, by the way. Let me just bring up Cruiseman. Cruiseman says UT clock tower shooting was in the 60s. There's a lot of bad things happen, but did people even talk about it? Lots of bad. You think so? Wait, the Catholic Church only decided to start going after little kids recently?
No, they've been predatory for a long time, but that's not what we're talking about.
I'm Catholic, so I know. Trust me.
Yeah,
right, unfortunately, I know that too. I mean, that happened all over the world.
If you want to say that, if you want to give the broad statement that human beings are inherently bad, then yeah, it's true. It's been around forever. We were super violent all the way up until the 1800s, 1900s, and then we pretended like we were less violent, and then we're getting back to being violent again.
Yeah, I'm not saying. So I'm not.
If you look, hold on, real quick. If you look at the times we live in, we are less violent than humans right now, especially first world humans are less violent and have to deal with less violence than they ever had in the history of humankind. Ever.
Now,
ever.
at this point.
Right
Yeah.
now, yes.
So that's kind of like it's a weird juxtaposition, right? I would agree with you in that people now have it better than they ever did. But maybe
Correct.
in the past, when horrible things were happening, no one covered it, no one even knew. People were not even
You didn't have a
aware.
24-hour news cycle. We've
People
talked
have
about
been,
this before.
people have been killing off their kids or killing other
Yes,
kids, doing
yes.
destructive
The first-
things for a long time.
The first quote-unquote mass shooting in the U.S. that was recorded was in, or I guess you'd call him a spree killer, happened in like 1946 or 7, or it might have been in the early 50s, of a guy that was a loner who came back from World War II and trained with a pistol and then took his grievances, exactly what it sounds like here. He took his grievances out on his small community. It's an interesting read. He practiced in his basement with a Luger that he brought back from World War II and then used it to good effect, unfortunately. But so this isn't a necessarily new concept.
But guys,
I think we just see it more. The news site, and there's money in. I don't necessarily know how profitable it was to push these type of things back then. Where now, there is money to be made by being a victim or taking away someone's rights, or
but also
pushing
look
for-
in World War II, how old were kids going off to fight in World War II?
16.
15,
My great uncle, who's no longer with us, was 16 or 17 when he got signed off to go. He fought in. He was a Marine in Guadalcanal, and then he was in Korea and Vietnam.
Yeah,
He was a hard dude. He was a hard human being.
we've been doing horrible things to each other from either
We
the literal, the biblical, every beginning of time that we go
used
back
to
to.
burn people. It was worked very well, but yeah, we're no longer allowed to use flamethrowers. Though it was a very, very good weapon.
Yeah.
We are hard. Humans like killing each other. We're good at it. It's just the way it is.
Yeah. Now what's happening, one of the things I would agree with is that I think that today everything is easier for everyone. And because everything's easier, there's a lot of people who feel really entitled. And if they can't get there, whatever the stuff is that's keeping people plugged into the matrix, they lose their shit. Right?
I agree. No, I agree. That's why, on a slight tangent, that's why I say that less than a week, in less than a week, if all power and food and everything got shut off to major cities, people will be killing and eating each other in less than a week because of that.
Yeah.
They're so used to having it.
So, I think at the end of the day, I think it's like we're preaching to the choir. We know the thing to do is to try to protect the children. If you think the children mean something, this is the craziness that happened in Florida. Like here in Florida, right? We have the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas bill that went into effect and took away people's gun rights in Florida. So we're talking everything. You can't buy anything until you're over 21. Red flags, all kinds of stupid shit. You know that they haven't even convicted that kid yet?
Yeah, they
in the trial.
Yeah, they haven't. They haven't even. I think the trial is ongoing right now.
It
right?
is. Yeah, it's still going on.
Yeah. So this is like, these kinds of things happening. At the end of the day, they put all these laws in effect. Now, one of the reasons why Republicans went out there and agreed to this, because in Florida, this happened with Florida being controlled by Republicans. This is also going to happen in Texas. We're going to see it here. Like everyone thinks Texas is all Republicans. We're going to see a bunch of crap go into effect in Texas. I don't want it. That's what's going to happen. You might see a whole bunch of stuff go into effect in the country in general, because obviously, like people are talking about here in the chat, and I've already gotten lots of warnings and notices about it. Democrats are out there fronting, I think at this point, maybe 8, 10, 100 bills to go up. And there's going to be Republicans that are going to agree to that. One of the things, Yeah, one of the things that Republicans here in Florida, one of the reasons why they agreed to it, they said, well, if we are reasonable and we compromise, we'll get the ability to guard the kids in the school, which never happened. Florida schools are just as open as anywhere else to this crap still after everything.
After the Parkland shooting, there was a directive, and I know this for a fact with law enforcement, that you are no longer to wait for backup to come. You are now to go in, at least here in Duval County, to go in and stop the threat by any means necessary. Because remember, those cops sat back out at Broward County waiting for advice on how to move in. So they said, no, you're not going to do that anymore. You're just going to go in and stop the threat at that point.
Yeah, it's the most ridiculous thing I ever heard. Like, this happened, obviously, or they're saying this happened in Uvalde, that these cops thought they had a hostage situation or a barricade situation and waited around. Yeah, I mean, you would want to say this seems logical and easy to come to the conclusion that if someone's in a school with a gun, you go in the school, you find the person.
Hey, you didn't hear this today. They came out today. They didn't think that, because guess what? Somebody was live streaming on Facebook. A little girl was in there saying that they're shooting us. So they couldn't have thought it was a hostage situation. And this came from over the police radio that they were live streaming on.
Mm-hmm.
So no, they didn't think it was a hostage situation. Not when somebody inside is saying, we need you guys to come in now. So, they're shooting us.
So let me just, one of the weird things about this whole thing, and I don't know that much about Uvalde, but I've actually been there several times, right? So I'm not going to pretend I know Uvalde. When we went to remember the drive tanks thing, or remember the Gundies? That's where that happens. That is in order to get to Uvalde, let's say for me here in Florida, I start driving, and then eventually I meet Texas, and then eventually after a couple of months I get to Uvalde of driving in Texas. That's how far and remote that place is in Texas. Do you understand what I'm saying? If you fly into an airport, okay, in Texas, you will be on the road for somewhere between 3 hours or more before you get to Uvalde. Do you understand that? This is one of the most remote places in America.
But the SWAT team had just 3 months earlier trained in that very same school for a mass shooting situation. So that same school.
So the thing that brings up is, why would a place like this? Why would this happening? They're not so remote that they don't know what's happening in America or what's happening in schools, right? Why would they sit back? Why does someone have to come who's not even part of the response team have to go in there, save his own family, which I don't blame him for that, and then go back and kill the guy before they even do anything about it?
Hey, that's what me and BabyFace were just talking about.
I know. I'm saying it's a hard one to escape, that there's something weird and crazy happening here in America. And instead of people talking about, oh, we need more, we have so much gun control in America, it's not even funny. And people are thinking, oh, it's gun control. No one's thinking, what the fuck happened that in this place in Texas, how did this happen, that these folks who are living out, who these cops who responded to this thing didn't go, you know what, let's just fucking go in there. Let's find out. This is a school. There's little kids in here. You don't have to go far, man. If you show up and you see elementary on school on the outside of that, that's all you need to tell you that there's little kids in there.
Then there are multiple security measures that failed. You have the teacher that left the dang on door open.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, to me, it's just too much of a perfect situation that happened. Okay, the teacher left the door at the very instant that the guy was coming in with the gun. Okay, so
I think people.
Now,
I would say this. People do that shit to doors all the time. I don't.
Okay, but now,
yeah, I mean, come on. If you worked in a place where the doors are supposed to be secure, the number one thing that people's asses do is block the doors open. That's the
So
number
let
one
me
thing.
ask you this:
Mhm.
How in the hell did the police? That the police are saying that they couldn't get into the school and they had to get the janitor key to open the door.
Mhm.
When I heard that, that sent me over the top. Then, because I'm like, wait, something's going on here. I mean, you can blow up my ass, and I know it's damn air, But
Mhm.
shit, I mean, you can't tell me that all of this stuff went on at the right moment.
So how did the guy who went there and got his family his out of there and then come back and kill this guy? How did he do that?
That's what I'm trying to
That's the
figure out.
thing is we have so much. We are missing so many pieces to the puzzle that
Mhm.
aren't
Yeah,
being released.
Mhm. Yeah.
I can't even find a solid timeline that
We'll never know.
we
Someone says this is just like Las Vegas. We'll probably never know. They'll never actually tell
Mhm.
people what happened here.
The report today is that the Uvalde PD is no longer helping with the investigation done by the school board or something.
Okay. Yeah.
okay. So Hank, you just said Las Vegas. We never find out the whole true story on that.
Never, and we
And we
never
never
will.
will. The FBI just closed that case. They were like, no, we don't know. That's what we're going to tell you.
Let's
Live
just
with it.
pretend like
I
nothing
mean,
happened.
yeah.
So this is the weird. This is I don't know. There's so many weird things, and this is why to me, like, I didn't look at what Trump had to say at the NRA thing because I
Yeah, I
don't
didn't
care.
either.
I don't care what he had to say. As far as I'm concerned, I don't even. This is one of the reasons why I think the NRA is totally irrelevant. Why the fuck is Trump invited back over there when during his presidency he put
He
gun
banned
control in effect?
plastic.
Yeah.
Yep.
Why is he invited back to the NRA and people are acting, oh, this is awesome? Let's hear what Trump has to say about this.
I think they
Why
didn't
would
have
I
nobody
don't.
else that they could put up there that would garner his attention.
Yeah. And then I saw this it's so funny. I was looking at this thing, I think I sent it to you guys, where a guy basically infiltrated their asses, the meeting,
Yeah. Hmm.
and
Yeah.
a comedian, and they're just sitting there, and I don't really want to play too much of it because I don't want to get into. I'm gonna definitely not play the audio. This doesn't look like it's super packed to me, by the way. That doesn't look super packed to me. But this is the meeting that you said you couldn't get into, Rod Mills, which does not look packed.
I think
And
they had several of these though.
well, this is the one with Wayne LaPierre sitting in the crowd, and this
Wayne
I'm not
guy,
LaPierre.
sure,
this guy is
but I'm
fake.
not sure if it's the same one that where Trump was at though.
No, that's the Trump one is probably a different thing.
Yeah,
I
that's
wouldn't I
what,
wouldn't doubt the
that's
Trump
what,
one will be packed, but who the fuck? Why would you want to go see Trump? If you're a gun
well,
guy, why would you want to go see Trump speak at the NRA? If you're going to a
that's what I
show
was
that's
referring
about
to.
gun rights, why would you want to
Mhm.
see a president who literally made a piece of plastic into a machine gun, didn't appoint anyone to the ATF to rein their asses in, and open the door for all the bullshit that's going on right now?
Hmm.
I
Well,
mean,
when I
right
was
now,
talking
from
about,
from that time that Vegas happened, and then Trump immediately, okay, decided he was going to make a bump stock a machine gun, and the NRA could not stop him, or he got their blessing, which I would
He
tend
did.
to believe that
Guaranteed.
yeah, he got their blessing. We are now looking at where like JSD Supply, for example, right? Those guys are shut down. They can't sell anything.
Hmm.
They're being bled dry, and we're just like all looking at it while these guys are going out of business because the ATF goes, yeah, you can't sell anything. If you sell anything, we're going to consider you're selling guns, and that's for selling 80 percenters. So they're gonna bleed this company to death, and we're all just gonna look at them slowly dying. That's what's happening. So how to me, I'm like, how can you go to the NRA and sit down and listen to Trump talk his shit?
all I know is that when Trump came, that they were sold out for that. Now, again, I never go to any of those meetings. I mean, because
Mm-hmm.
I have no interest in them, to be honest
Mm-hmm.
with you. I'm there for the vendors and to see everybody on the floor. Um, that's what I'm there for.
Right. No, I'm not. I'm not blaming you for that. I'm just saying, and I know why you did what you did. I know why there's companies who went there, right? These are commitments they made a long time ago. I'm not trying to say that companies going to the NRAAM are, are evil or anything like that for doing it, but it's kind of like it's a wasted idea to think that Trump being there is going to do something. It's a wasted idea to think that the NRA is going to do something. Right now, they're just trying to figure out what kind of deal that they can make to support some more gun control so that the New York Attorney General eases up off their ass. That's what they're doing right now. Why would they, if they really cared about guns, if they really cared about the Second Amendment in America, why would they invite back the guy that took a piece of plastic, made it a machine gun, all right, didn't do anything to rein in the ATF, and then come back and talk to people?
They're playing politics. That's all they are. They're a political organization that is only interested in raising money. That's all the NRA does. They used to be worth a shit, but they're not any longer. And I think we can all agree on that.
Yeah. DCG44 says Trump was publicity, Hank, money.
Mm-hmm.
And Night Train says
exactly
Daniel Defense backed out of the NRA show at the last minute.
Yeah, I noticed that they went there. Yeah. Safari Land wasn't there either.
It's just, I don't know, man. It just seems, what makes me mad about it is a waste of time and energy to do those things, and we're not really fighting the battle that we need to fight. We're not shoring up the spines of the Republicans in Congress, to hold up the dam against all this stuff that's going to be coming out there. That's the thing that really frustrates me and bothers me about this. Right now, places like the NRA, the Republican Party out there, they're just trying to figure out how to compromise more shit away. That's what they're doing. Night Train said Trump told senators you're afraid of the NRA. Yeah, he's obviously not afraid of them. He's working with them. The NRA realizes that those 5 million NRA dudes who have no fucking clue what the NRA's been up to and what they've been doing with their money, and that they haven't been fighting for shit. Those people don't care. They see Trump, they're like, oh yeah, there we go, Trump, awesome. And then the next thing you know, when their shotgun is considered a machine gun, what? Where'd that come from? How'd that happen? How is a shotgun now a machine gun? Think about that. Yeah. Cruiseman says disband Uvalde police. Yeah. What is this? Brian Quick says, I think Uvalde will end up like Las Vegas. They'll make getting information difficult. FOIA will be denied. No one will be held accountable.
Mm-hmm.
And Brian Quick says, also, don't forget many Democrat governors released many criminals at the beginning of COVID. Obviously, criminals aren't the problem, right?
No.
Yeah. Making it more difficult for regular people to defend themselves, while all the people talking shit have armed people securing them. That's gonna totally fix it.
Hey, guess what? The last 3 mass shooters did not have a criminal record. Buffalo didn't. Uvalde didn't, and California didn't.
Yeah. We've got like 10 seconds here. The weird thing about Buffalo, isn't there an ex-FBI agent that's right now being investigated for a connection to that whole thing?
I don't know that one.
Yeah, we're going to come right back here in a sec.
With Armslist, you can shop the extensive list of local and nationwide firearms classified, now with more confidence because of their built-in firewall. For only $6.99 a month for personal use, or $30 a month for business vendors. So when you're in the market, please consider Armslist. We wouldn't be able to keep the Who Moved My Freedom podcast going without the support of great companies like Armslist.
All right, we're back. I think if you look it up, I need to pull up something. Someone here will probably... But I thought I saw that there was like an FBI agent that's being investigated in the middle of that whole Buffalo thing. Yeah, here we go. Here's one thing right here. Authorities investigating a former FBI agent knew Buffalo mass shooting was going to take place.
Mm-hmm.
So, there's gonna be some weird stuff that comes out of that. You know.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. I'm sure someone's also gonna debunk that whole thing, but people ignore warning signs. Like, I'm pretty sure this in Uvalde, this kid was saying on social media that he was gonna do something, right?
I'm sure
So
I'm sure it was not unknown.
Yeah.
It never is.
Yeah. Yeah. The only thing that you could do is defend yourself in the moment. That's it. DCG44 says gun control will pass, then more and more at some point we either give up or say no. What do you guys think about that?
I don't think.
All I know is that Canada's prime minister today banned all
guns,
period.
handguns.
Yeah. I wonder if that includes for the people guarding him.
No, absolutely not. No, he gets to have guns.
Really, what they're trying to do is freeze sales, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they're trying to do in Canada. So, yeah, you know what? Patrick, you go ahead and answer that question. What do you think? If gun control is coming, what does that mean to you?
No, I don't think it is. I think the Republicans know that their base is fired up against this shit, so they're not looking to allow anything through. I think it'll easily pass the House, but it won't pass the Senate. They'll filibuster it.
Mm-hmm.
They're playing again. Everybody is playing their part in this play. That's all this is. This is just a show to say, "Hey, yeah, let's all play our part." We know they put all this stuff on the table because they know it won't pass. Schumer and Pelosi know none of this will pass.
Yeah.
And they only put it out there so they can, come November, they can all say, "Well, this congressman voted against all this. You should vote for me." That's all this is. 100%.
Yeah, so here's this thing that I'm putting up here.
And swing voters,
raise the age act, prevent gun trafficking act, the untraceable
we should be
firearms
lowering the
act.
age of everything. By the way,
yeah, it's all crazy. Closing the bump stock loophole.
What's the point of being an adult if you can't do anything that an adult does?
Yeah, the Keep Americans Safe Act.
We should, if we're going to be raising the age of all these different things, then we need to be raising the age of adults going to war. You don't go to war until you're 21. Simple as. But I guarantee that the government does not want that to happen. Oh.
Why would you? I mean, why would you even have to go to war?
Guys, think about this.
You shouldn't have guns.
Anytime somebody says, "Well, we need to do gun control," the next question I'm gonna say is, "Well, what if that doesn't work? What are you gonna do then?" Nobody ever can say what happens next. Well, what if gun control doesn't work, which we know it won't. But let's just say, hey, you know what? What if you do gun control and it doesn't work? What are you gonna do after that? What's
we've already run that experiment. There's tons of gun control
that was the 1994 Clinton thing. But
there's still gun control involved in America. People can't willy-nilly go out there and buy guns. It just doesn't happen. I mean, guns are manufactured under strict.
Don't we have a 10-day waiting period now?
If you don't have a CCW, if you're over, you have to be over 21. There's all kinds of gun control red flag laws. There's all kinds of laws in effect in America. There's lots of different ones, right? If we looked on the books, there would be a shit ton of laws on the books. What does that stop? There's laws against a whole bunch of stuff on the books.
You guys saw what I had to go through with that dude running for sheriff here.
Mm-hmm.
What an idiot that guy is.
Yeah.
You called him out. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, dude, what? And
do you want to explain to people what that is? I would have to go and pull up explain to everyone what we're talking about here, because people may not know.
So our sheriff currently will be at the end of his term in November. So you got a bunch of new candidates out there running for sheriff. Well, this guy that's running for sheriff happened to be on my Facebook friends list. And
why?
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 Why is he on there?
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Why are
him
you
and I've been,
Facebook? Why are you Facebook friends with this
well,
idiot?
well, he's been Facebook friends with me for about 5 years before he even thought about running for sheriff.
Okay, all right.
Okay, so his thing is, I saw an excerpt where he was saying about common sense gun reform.
No such
Common
thing.
sense
No
gun
such
reform.
thing. No such thing.
I'm like, so you mean gun control? No, common sense gun reform. There is no such thing as common sense gun reform. It's gun control. Call it what you. Then he started. Well, I don't think it was him. I think it was somebody in his campaign.
No,
Because
bull effing shit. That was him hiding behind somebody in his campaign,
Oh,
so
really?
he could have
Okay.
plausible deniability. I guarantee it.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's going through all this crap, talking about this and that. I'm like, dude, there ain't no fucking way. Excuse my French, that I would ever vote for you, and I will make sure that nobody that I know votes for you because I'm actually going to put. I guess he didn't think that I would go to the extent that I did, and I'm like, no, we're not about to have a sheriff of our city here be anti-gun.
Yeah, I'm trying to find that post that you did on Facebook, but
Just
man,
look at my timeline.
yeah, you post a lot of stuff on your timeline.
Oh yeah, I do.
Yeah,
I do.
so it's kind of. I don't even want to show everything I'm scrolling through here. Somehow Lola will say, "Why are you showing all this stuff?" Yeah. So basically, there's a very
Terry Cummings.
Yeah, there's a liberal sheriff here in Jacksonville running, and he wants to do some common sense, right? That's his idea, right? Mm-hmm.
Common sense gun
that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah. I'm like, no, we're not talking about no gun reform here. No, not in my city.
Mm-hmm.
Not as long as I can help it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm like, no, we're not going to do. Hey, what you need to do is stress for every citizen out there that is able-bodied to go out there, get a gun, get trained,
and defend themselves.
Okay.
Yeah,
to defend yourself, because we already know that. Guess what? Police officers we don't have 24-hour guards here.
Yeah, Patrick is
Nobody
showing
for
for folks listening on audio. Patrick has some kind of mug or something that says nobody's.
This is my new mug. But this is true. How true is this?
Nobody is coming to save you. They're not required to save you.
Nope.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's the thing about the sheriffs in or the deputies or whatever the police department was in Uvalde. They're not required to save you from anything. They don't have to save you. That's not their business. Seriously. Yeah. I'm not making that up. That's what the Supreme Court says, right?
The Supreme Court, and guess what? I teach that in my concealed weapons class. Mm-hmm. I got a copy of it in my classroom right now, and I let them know, hey, do you know that it is not the police department's job to save your life? Okay, it is up to you to save your life until the police comes on scene. And police do not show up on scene before crimes happen. We all know that. Let's be realistic here. It is your job and your duty to protect yourself and your family until they come on scene. Now, it would really go a long way if we had law enforcement verbally saying this shit too, but they won't say it verbally. So that would really go a long hell of a way if we had. Now, I will tell you this: you know who does say that? Polk County Sheriff says that. Polk County, Florida. I love that dude.
Grady Judd ain't no joke.
Yeah. At the end of the day, you're responsible for you and the people around you. You've got to defend yourself. And but by the way, people can, if we wind up in America where these politicians and all these other idiots who try to run and control our lives decide that they're going to make guns illegal, it doesn't matter to me. I really don't give a shit. I'm just, I don't care. I'm not going to declaw myself and defang myself and leave myself defenseless. and
And
have
so,
no way to protect myself and my family and the people I love and I care about. Not gonna do it.
so the question is, what happens if gun control happens? Well, you know what? Then, if you never heard or if you never seen Civil War, you're gonna get it. Then that's what's gonna happen. That's
Perhaps. I think there's gonna be states or places in states, because I know even Florida is not one whole thing, but there's gonna be parts of America, even here inside of Florida, that those people might comply with that and leave themselves wide open. They're just gonna have anarchy. That's it. That's all.
yeah,
They'll just have that. That's
yeah.
it. I mean, and they can have it
I
if they
don't know.
want it, but then I think there's other places where people aren't going to go for that. You
That's
know,
true.
we've got other places and other sheriffs, and this is why the local people matter. Those local folks that are dealing with reality on the ground are not going to have that. They're just not going to have it,
Exactly.
and they're not going to go along with
Exactly.
it. But there will be places. I would like to see New York City do that. To try to completely disarm yourself and see if you can wave that magic wand and everything's gonna be okay in New York City or in LA or Miami or wherever the hell
Right.
people are crazy enough to.
Have you
try
ever noticed how it's always somebody else's problem, somebody else's fault?
that. Yeah.
Those municipalities have done that to the best of their ability, and then they go, well, because so-and-so state or so-and-so city doesn't regulate their firearms, they just flood into here and commit all sorts of crimes. Always somebody else's fault.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Night Train is saying, I was in Philadelphia part of this last holiday weekend, and it was reported that 13 people were shot in that city of brotherly love.
Yeah, nobody
There's
gives
a lot
a shit
of-
about Chicago.
There's a lot of death and destruction.
We need to
going
set up a
on.
website that's just like the Chicago murder count. Because nobody gives a rat's hairy ass about Chicago.
It was over 44 at one point last week.
Yeah, the weekend before.
I have a
Yeah.
tough time believing that anyone, really genuinely cares. Because here's the funny thing. Do you know how many people are every single day destroying their own children? Do you know how often
I'm
that
sure more
happens?
than I care to know.
Yeah. And that's not no one that's like a mass self genocide that no one's really worried about. No one's sitting there like, okay, yeah, this is horrible that this happened to these kids, but you know what? It's okay that I decide that I'm gonna destroy my own kids. Right? That's the crazy upside down world that we live in. Like I saw some memes. Of people like, oh, you say that laws don't work. There's people who like put out these memes against gun guys like us, and they're like, oh, but you said laws don't work. So why do you expect someone to, if you don't expect anyone to pay attention to the gun laws, why do you expect someone to pay attention to abortion laws? No, I don't expect anyone to pay any attention to any fucking law.
That's a false equivalency.
Yeah.
One does not equal the other. That's a weak, stupid argument for weak, stupid people. One has nothing to do with the other.
Yeah, but at the end of the day,
If
people don't
anybody if anybody tries to bait you into an argument like that, just walk away because they're trying to play you for an idiot.
Mhm. Ultimately,
Sorry, I'm in the middle of eating, but yeah.
right. Yeah. Brian Quick says, we talk about how we would resist if some crazy new law came down, and yet why does anyone still have an arm brace on their gun? Okay.
I don't have any arm braces in this house.
You lost them all in a boating accident? Did Rod Mills
No,
freeze?
I don't have any.
Or is Rod
No, he's
Mills
still there.
post? Yeah, he's posting on Facebook right now, I could tell.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you are. What are you doing?
He's looking at big booty bitches. That's Rob Mills'
No.
favorite thing on Instagram. Triple B. Hashtag Triple B.
I'm looking at you guys.
Okay. Night Train says, my sense is that they won't actually come around with jackbooted government goon squads, but will make it difficult to renew a driver's license, take out a loan, etc. if you don't hand in your hardware. You don't need why do you have to follow any law? Let's just go into lawlessness, right? What does it matter?
You know,
we're already there.
Locally, they had the other day where they were talking about the Second Amendment, and they were saying, well, the Second Amendment says a well-regulated militia, and they said, well, hold on, there's something else goes to that too now. Shall not be infringed. Shall not be infringed, and they were like, oh yeah, so the news always tries to get around, the way that to get people to see their point of view.
I think it's just trying to confuse people. I think it's
the right of the people
trying to confuse people.
Their arms shall not be infringed.
I think it's just trying to confuse people. We're living in a country that's celebrating that the people in the Ukraine are taking up guns. But no, people in America shouldn't have guns. Well, there's horrible people knocking on the door of the people in the Ukraine.
Guys, I'm going to ask you a question.
People. Sure, go for it.
How much money have we donated over to Ukraine?
Oh, you don't want to know.
What is it? Is it? I don't know. I'm gonna guess it's somewhere over 100 billion. I don't know.
Okay, think about this. You mean to tell me we can't put that same amount, to put a police officer in every school?
I don't think there's any interest in doing that.
Why?
Right?
It would save mass shooting averted right there.
Yeah, I don't know if one police officer on their own could do it. I don't know if it's even necessary.
I know zero can't.
Yeah, I know. Yes, you're right. But what I'm saying is, I think there's plenty of people that would happily volunteer. I know I would volunteer, jump through whatever hoops, go do training or whatever, and spend my time, at a school as part of something. I think it takes more than one person. And I think it takes a better plan than what we have in America. All of this stuff happens and no one says, like, what is the plan for these people to secure your kids? People are sending their kids to school and have no idea of what the plan is. My kids went to, when they were in high school, for example, they were in a school that had one guy there. But what's that? If someone is hell-bent on creating destruction like this, that one guy on his own isn't going to be enough.
My thing is this. I want to know, other than, and unfortunately, Parkland is a bad example because they did have a police officer. And what he did was he made a business decision. Right?
He was going to retire out. He wasn't about to lose his life for retirement.
Exactly. So we don't need.
And he still kept his pension. That man should have been strung up for cowardice. Back in the school.
He made a business decision, and we should have one SWAT team member at every school. Okay. I mean, that's a start. That's better than what we got right now. Matter of fact, that is 50% better than what we have right now.
Go ahead, Patrick.
Rod, I was just going to say, for anybody that's out there that wants to argue, anybody that's looking to argue, look up the difference between a prefatory clause and an operative clause. And then you can put both of those together with Second Amendment if you want to search for something. And that'll give you all you need to know if anybody ever says it's about the militia. No, that's a prefatory clause. The operative clause says the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. There's
exactly the right.
That's for anybody that wants to go read and learn a little bit. Prefatory clause, operative clause are the two terms you'll need to know.
Right.
Yeah. I think it takes I would agree with the folks. There's people out there saying it takes, more than one person. Brian Quick says, one cop on any school campus isn't enough. You have to have embedded armed school personnel, teacher, administration, etc. You have to have actual, policies that people have to follow. in terms of securing the building and all that.
We wouldn't be able to keep the Who Moved My Freedom podcast going without the support of a DAO, or decentralized autonomous organization like TUSC Crypto. TUSC cryptocurrency is a firearm-friendly e-commerce option for online payment transactions, secured on the blockchain. So when you're in the crypto market, please consider TUSC, TUSC.
The thing is, what happens inevitably, even here in Florida, every time you bring that stuff up, the first thing that people say about it is, the first thing that people say is, "Oh, I don't want guns in the school around my kids." That's
You want
interesting.
the kids dead?
It's interesting because there are schools in America that there's multiple armed people in there around the kids. It's called the schools that your congressmen and your senators' kids go to. There's lots of people in there armed to protect those kids. The problem is that people don't
want.
Go ahead. What's that?
No, this is going to be an interruption. Do you guys want an off-topic conversation real quick?
Sure.
I'm going to need Marley's help with this.
Uh-oh.
Go grab the red blanket. I'm going to tell a story. I'm going to tell a story
Oh, no.
of Patrick and his favorite childhood blanket.
Oh, Lord. Your blankie is coming out now? Your security
My blankie is coming out. No shit, my
Oh,
blankie is coming out.
sakes. Okay, Rod.
Hold on, Marley's going to get it.
I'm going to apologize to Rod Mills for this in advance.
So, my parents, before I was even born, can you see this?
Mm-hmm.
This big
It's
old
got sheep on it, for fuck's sake.
It's got sheep on it.
This
My
was your
parents, before I was
blankie?
born, this was a gift from my grandmother to my dad, well before I was born. And as a kid, probably when I was like 5 or 6, I took it over and it became my blanket. Like this is the blanket I travel with. Like if I
the
go
the look on Marley's
hotel,
face. Rod Mills.
If I go to a hotel, if I'm sitting in bed, this is the blanket I use for everything. I've had this thing for 33 years now. So, as you can see, you can almost see through it. It's getting very thin for 33 years old. And
I
so
like how Marley put that on your. Oh no, you didn't.
I went on eBay and I found a second one. These aren't made anymore. This is from a German company that made them back in the 70s and 80s. But I found a gray one on eBay the other day, and Marley was like, "Yeah, go ahead and buy it."
You know what? Oh my Lord. So, okay, Rod's not even looking at any of this, but the funny thing that happened is that Marley put that on his shoulders and patted him like, "There you go, you big baby."
When I go on
here's your
vacation,
blankie.
when I go on vacation, the blanket goes with me. When I travel, the blanket goes everywhere with me. I've had that thing. I've had that thing for 33 years, and it's held up pretty damn well. But I don't know about anybody
You're a
else
big
out
man.
there.
You're a big man baby, basically.
I don't know about anybody else out there. I sleep really hot. I can't sleep under the covers because it makes me sweat. So that blanket is my godsend. I sleep under that blanket. It is the perfect temperature. My body is perfectly used to it. And then Marley let me go get a second one. So there you go. there's our offshoot for tonight.
Is it a weighted blanket?
Yeah, I don't know.
This one isn't.
It's wool, right?
You know
is it
what?
wool?
That one's it's wool.
Mm-hmm.
Marley bought last 2 times that she bought sheets and a comforter. She bought weighted comforters, and during wintertime I'll sleep under the comforter because it's warmer. But weighted blankets are pretty awesome. Let me tell you, they feel very soothing.
Yeah. We've got some comments here that I'm gonna get in. Let me go. Lola says, "Oh, how sweet." DCG44 says, "That's pretty cool, Patrick." Lola says, #blankie. And then 42 Chill says, "When you go to NV, carry your blankie."
You know what's funny? Marley can tell you, most of you guys that know me can tell you that I have things in my life that are precious to me, certain objects that I keep that I'm like, I'll never get rid of that. I get emotionally attached to certain things. I've had the same belt for 5 or 6 years and I fucking love it. I don't want to get rid of it. I've had the same wallet for a while. I don't want to get rid of that. So
You're like
blanket's
you know
just
what?
part
You're
of it.
like a freaking hobbit. Do you know that? That's what you.
A little bit, probably, yeah.
The best way for me to describe it is you're like a hobbit. There's things that you have to do. You got to have first breakfast, second breakfast,
first breakfast,
third breakfast.
In the morning,
Patrick has to go on a date with Marley every so often, every week.
Yeah, we go out, we have a good time. But no,
I
every
work.
morning,
If I'm awake, I'm working. He's like, no, I'm not doing anything today. Today I'm going on this. I'm having a date. It's date night.
That's normal. That's normalcy. That you're supposed to be like that. But no, I'm a total creature of habit. Because I work from home, I found that if I didn't force myself to get out of the house sometimes, I wouldn't. So now my thing is every morning there's a Dunkin' that's like 2 blocks down. That's really nice. Every morning I go to Dunkin', I get my coffee and a donut, and I come back and drink my coffee while I'm starting my work day, and that guarantees me that I get out of the house at least once per day. But no, Hank can tell you, I'm a total creature of habit, 100%.
Yeah, it's
I like my
reasonably annoying.
I like my stuff, and Hank, you can't even pretend. You know, you like your stuff too.
Hank likes cars.
It's not just that. You don't understand Patrick, man. Patrick has a whole. It's not just his stuff. It's a whole bunch of traditions and specific ways that shit has to happen. Otherwise, he gets mad. You know, he's gonna throw a tantrum.
No, that's probably right. I don't know which ones you're referencing, but that's probably true.
Yeah,
he's a superstitious guy.
No, it's not.
I'm
it's
very superstitious.
He like certain days. These are days off. You know, he has to have certain days off. He has to go on his. How many vacations do you take? You take at least one that I know of that must freaking happen. Yeah, these vacations must happen. You know, he's like. I work.
Well, we plan ahead because both of us are working people, so we have to plan well ahead to make sure that we both have time off. And so, no, absolutely,
no. He's got to get his certain amount of video game play in. You know.
I like it. I do like that.
Yeah, Cruiseman says need to leave off the FP from BFP. Yeah.
Hey, I bet you there's a lot of people out there that have creature comforts and creature habits that they just follow.
Like,
I'm one of those.
This is game night. It's game night. I gotta do.
Yeah, no, we have board game night once a week. So yeah, that's another one that Hank makes fun of because because I have real friends in real life that come over and play board games at our house.
Yeah, Patrick has the same friends from like when are your boys?
Middle school. All of my friends
I've known. What the hell is that?
All of my really good friends I've known since 6th grade.
Yeah.
We've had some additions, some add-ons since then, but
oh my god,
I don't know if Hank realizes I'm a very closed-off person. I'm very tight-knit. I don't just allow anybody into my circle. Doesn't happen.
Yeah, you're like a hobbit.
It takes a lot to be in my like inner circle. That is a very, very tight group of people.
I'm not even surprised at this baby blanket nonsense with you.
Hell yeah!
I'm not even surprised.
I didn't think you would be.
No, I'm not surprised. And I'm telling you, I challenge people to go back and see the part where Marley just puts it on his shoulders and pats it. There you go, you big baby.
She knows. He knows.
Do you have a little one of those for a buckshot?
No, but the dog loves sleeping under that thing.
Buckshot is your freaking spirit animal.
He is me as a dog, 100%. Even Marley says that. He is absolutely me as a dog.
Yeah.
Patrick, I got a question
exactly
for you.
Me.
Mm-hmm.
I got a question for you. I thought about you on Saturday when I was at the Century Arms booth. Is that Century Arms MP5 as good as, or almost as good as the HK MP5?
Yeah, pretty much.
Have you seen one? Have you seen one, Patrick?
Yeah,
in person?
they had it.
I haven't seen it in person, but I know what they are.
Okay.
The contract was from MKE. They were importing them from Turkey.
Right.
But for whatever reason, MKE stopped importing them, and Century Arms picked them up. I have seen them. Walther has a couple MKEs. It's the same exact gun. It just has a different name on the outside. It's nothing different.
Right. If it's the same thing if it's the same thing as what Walther from Safety Harbor Firearms has.
Yes, they're high quality guns.
Yeah. Which I think I ran into a guy
at the NRA show. They're all one and the same.
Yeah. I know that I ran into a guy when I was in Flagstaff for the Overland Expo West out there that he's a gun guy and he has one of those and he's like, yeah, man, I'm totally. And he's like former law enforcement and all that, and he loves the Century Arms MP5.
They're good as long as you just have to make sure you get them at the right price. But no, they're
Yeah.
if you don't want to pay the premium for an H&K, which is like $3,200, something crazy like that.
Yeah.
Those Century/MKE guns, perfect guns. They work great.
DCG44 says Rod Century has a $200 rebate right now. Go for it.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I got.
If you don't have an MP5, you need one. They're awesome guns.
How much is Century Arms selling those for? Does anyone know? What's the price?
I thought they were like 18.
18 is not bad considering like what we spent putting our kits together. That's not bad.
Oh, I didn't even hire somebody to do it, and yeah, it cost me.
You still spent probably $3,000 or something. Or
almost at least $3,000 to build it. Yeah, it was a lot. Plus the headache of building it. By the way, if anybody out there buys one of these and wants to get rid of their 3-pronged flash hider that comes on it, the little quick detach flash hider, I would love to own one of those. Hit me up. I really want one. Speaking of.
Does that work the way? Is that like a push down or it just unscrews? Is that the? Oh yeah, we never did Gorn, did we? We didn't show guns. You better grab some guns, Rod Mills.
Oh, you want to see a rare bird? I don't know if I've shown this off before, but check that.
Oh, this is the
rare H&K mag coupler.
Where'd you get that from?
Germany. I had to order from a guy who has a source in Germany where they're still, because H&K doesn't make these any longer, these couplers.
Mm-hmm.
He knew a guy that has a ton of them. Very expensive, very collectible. Super cool piece though, because now I got 2 mags.
Yeah.
So Patrick, when I get my Century Arms MP5, I noticed that I'm looking at yours. Yours looks different from when you first put it together.
Yeah.
And so it looks like you got a new handguard up there or something.
So I went with a Midwest Industries handguard. It's in-lock.
Okay.
I wanted something. So for the night vision, I wanted to play around with putting a laser on it. So I got a PEC 14 to put on it, and you have to have some way of connecting it. So I went with the M-lock one, and then I have the little M-lock panels, and it's actually a very, very comfortable way to handle it. And then I just zip tied. Let's see if you can see this. The pressure pad for the light.
Yeah, you did it on 2 sides.
I just zip tied it to the top of the M-lock. That's one reason why I really like M-lock. It has straight like flats that you can put stuff like that to, and then you can run a zip tie through it, and you're good to go.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
But no, I like this gun. It has held up pretty well. I also have the Midwest optics mount.
What's on there? Is that what's your optic on there?
This is a Zoptech.
Is that just came in, right?
No, I've had this for 6 or 8 months now. Zoptech. This is the this is the Elcan red dot. This is the red dot that Elcan now sells to put on top of an Elcan.
Mm-hmm.
I actually recently sold my Elcan so I could buy some other stuff, but I kept the Zoptech because it's night vision compatible, and it actually is it is Chinese. It's not worth the price that they ask, but it is a very nice optic. It seems to work really well.
Okay.
Any reason why you didn't go ahead and get a Holosun?
This was quote unquote okay, so the story is I bought this to go on top of my Elcan, and then I stopped using my Elcan as much as I thought I would. So I had this just sitting around, so I just put it on there. Otherwise, well, actually, one thing, I don't think the Holosuns are night vision compatible. That's one of the things. I believe I looked into it, and Holosuns are not night vision compatible. So if you try to aim down your nods, you just get a big bloom of light.
Let's see. Night Train says, save yourself a lot of money and get a Scorpion Evo. Then you could join the CZ hipster crowd. Which the new one, the little was that a micro that's out now? I think it's like a micro.
Scorpion is a.
I think Barnauls.
If you shit gold, if you shit gold and you can get whatever you want, and you want something really nice, a PCC or an SBR, that's really nice. The B&Ts are top of the line. Getting one of the B&Ts would be awesome. The next
AIM
step
Surplus
down from
has
there,
them.
what's that?
AIM Surplus has them now.
The B&T guns, they're really nice.
Yeah.
APC-9 and GHM-9, I think is what they are. A step down from there, they're hard to come by, but if you can get one of the SIG MCXs, it's a piston-driven 9mm carbine. Those things are awesome. They just stopped making them in the length that most people like. They only have a carbine length and then like a 5-inch barrel. They don't make the 8.5 like an MP5 any longer, which is crazy.
How would you rate? How would you rate the B&T next to the MP5?
B&T, the MP5 is the softest shooting gun you can get. The B&T is just a little behind it. It has a tiny bit more recoil, but the B&T has all of the modern features. That's the
nice.
thing.
Yeah.
Trying to get an MP5 feature set with modern stuff, you have to get an M-lock rail. It becomes kind of challenging.
By the way,
B&Ts,
there's the Barnauls right there.
yeah, B&Ts come with all the modern features.
Look at that.
And the really cool thing is you can now buy a B&T front end that just pops on. That makes it a B&T SD. So you know the MP5 SD that has the built-in suppressor. B&T does that now. All you have to do is pay for the barrel front end and the tax stamp, and it pops right on, and you have an SD ready to go. Really, really cool.
I would.
If I had the money,
I wouldn't
B&T.
I wouldn't kick a B&T out of bed or anything.
Oh,
like
I would. If first choice to me, B&T over MP5, I'd get a B&T just because it's modern. But the MP5 I love my MP5.
The MP5 is iconic. I mean, that's why.
Yes.
Yeah, at some point in the future, I probably would get a B&T, but the MP5 is like on that. Like, I guess, what is it on the? I don't want to say it's on the Holy Grail list or something like that.
MP5 is a Grail gun. And now that we have these, if I ever come across $35,000, I can go get myself a full auto sear, transfer it over, and you got a full auto.
Yeah. Yeah, full auto, integrally suppressed too. That'd be awesome.
Well, that's what I'm saying, Hank. I don't know if you heard that, but B&T now makes an integrally suppressed upper. You pay for the tax stamp, you pay for the upper, and it bolts right. You take your barrel off, you put the other one on, and you have a GHM9 or APC9 SD integrated. It's awesome. It looks so cool.
Who was it that was supposed to be making an integral like upper or barrel thing for the MP5s? I thought someone was.
They already have
doing
them.
that.
They've been out for a long time. The MP5 SD has been a thing forever.
Yeah, but there was someone I saw at like SHOT Show or something like that.
Oh, somebody was going to make a.
Yeah, they were going to put one out. I don't think it happened, but DCG45 says MP5 may be an old design, but it's a swing gun for me. And Flying Rich. Yeah, Flying Rich is out there, by the way. Shout out to Flying Rich. He says, Patrick, are you going to print an MP5?
I don't know what I'm going to print first. Well, no. The first thing I'm going to design and print is another one of these. I need one of these.
Yeah. Yeah. I see you flexing.
You don't even know what this is.
No, I don't know what the hell. It looks like you put your contact lenses in there or some craziness. Let me guess. It has to do with night vision. It has to do with night vision.
I got two of these sitting around right now, taking up space, and I want to protect one of them. One of them is in here. I need to put them away until I get the housing. But yeah, this is the business right here. This is the business end. This does all the magic.
Yeah, I like how you were flexing your new printer on all the social medias. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't. I just posted one picture.
Yeah. Did you print some shit yet? Okay, let's see.
It's still in the box.
Oh.
It hasn't even come out of the box yet.
Okay, Rod Mills, are you ready to show us some guns? If not, I'll show a gun. Like, this is what I was showing earlier. This is my my trusty SIG 516 Patrol, right there. Piston driven. I've had this for a long time, man. This was, I think, like one of my first AR damn, what's the name of that company that's in Kentucky that makes the ARs and their logo looks like a dragon or something? I don't know what Rod Mills is.
Kentucky Gun Company.
Rod Mills is putting up his some kind of QR code up there.
Yeah,
Anyway.
go to that. You'll see
I
some
forgot
stuff.
what someone will tell me the name of that company in Kentucky that makes. I think I got my AR from Bud's Gun Shop, the first one, and then I wound up selling it, but it wasn't. Like,
Bud's Gun Shop. I used to shop there so much. Bud's used to be the place that had some cool stuff.
Yeah. I got no complaints about. But so anyway,
The Who Moved My Freedom podcast is made possible by our partners at 2A Commerce. Veteran-owned and with over 20 years' experience, 2A Commerce is the leader in custom e-commerce and web application development in the shooting sports industry. Clients include major brands such as Guard Dog Body Armor, Sylvan Arms, AccuFire Technologies, The Tactical Games, Warrior Knife Company, and yours truly, Hank Strange. Visit 2A Commerce and support this show by supporting them. Once again, visit the number 2acommerce.com.
Yeah, I don't think
Would
I've
you
changed.
call that being foisted on your own petard?
Yeah, it happens all the time. I don't think I've changed. I think I've only changed the trigger maybe on this or the safety or something. I don't know what I've actually changed on this thing. I mean, it still
That's your
has.
SIG?
It still has all the furniture.
That was in
and
my
everything.
safe for a long time.
Why? Oh yeah, I don't even know why was it. In
I don't
your
remember
safe?
why,
What the
but
hell
I had that
what
gun
the
in
hell
my
were
safe
you
for
up to?
like 6 months. I don't remember. I really don't remember.
Why did
It's a
you
nice
have
gun, though. It's a very nice gun.
Why did you have this over there? What were you up to?
I think I had to take pictures of a piston-driven gun or something. I can't remember what.
Oh yeah, you probably wrote an
I had it for
article or
something.
something. Yeah, you probably wrote an
Think so.
article on it. And in this bag, when I did the training in Fort Scott, by the way, check out my full forge gear. Let me show this off. I actually use this full forge gear. This gun bag here from Full Forge Gear. And so when I did the training stuff in Kansas with Chris Tunto Peranto, and I actually wound up using my Walther PDP, the new PDP that came out. So let me show that off to you guys here. I have the old what was it? The PDQ? No. I forgot the name of the other one. Hold on. I got it in here. Let me pull it out. What is this thing? PPQ. So I got the PPQ right there. Check it out. I took this along as my backup, but I didn't have to use it. You know, it's like threaded and everything, but it uses the same magazine, but I didn't have to use it. I used this thing the whole time when I was doing that training that some people have been seeing, and I don't know why the hell this won't focus, but because my face is in there probably. Let's see if we can.
Put your hand up. There you go. That's
So-
the PDP, right?
Yeah, this is the PDP. I used
Oh,
this
is it?
the whole time I was training with Chris Tunto Peranto. By the way, the rifles that we were using, for anyone who's seen any of that video out of that, were all Daniel Defense guns, and they were all awesome. I can't really complain about Daniel Defense, their rifles or anything like that. I got no complaints about them.
So Hank, show
What's up?
Babyface that link I just put in the chat.
What link? In what chat?
Our personal chat.
I got it here.
Yeah, he should be able to see. Yeah,
ET APC 9 Pro 7-inch. That is a hell of a gun right there. Oh, that one takes Glock lowers. Very interesting.
Yeah. What? I don't see any lace behind you, Rod Mills. Why the hell can't you show us some guns? I don't see lace behind you.
Oh,
I'm looking behind you. I don't see lace. Where's the guns?
I mean, I can go to my safe.
Yeah. I mean, okay. Yeah,
Oh, you want me to do that?
Yeah. We want to show the people some guns.
I'll let you guys
I
look
mean-
at this while I'm gone.
Yeah. What do we
Oh, guess what? Guess who?
Okay.
Man, I feel famous right now.
Oh Lord.
Guess who followed me on Instagram?
I'm gonna let Patrick ask or guess because I don't know.
Ooh.
No, this is pertaining to you, Hank.
Because of me.
Pertaining to you.
It's pertaining to me.
Fat Daddy Booty or something like that.
What?
What?
Daddy.
Yeah. Why? How does that pertain to me? I don't know who Fat Daddy Booty is. What the hell does that have?
What did I say earlier? Triple B. Big booty bitches.
The guy, your buddy that the Brownells guy.
Oh, you're talking about Possum Fatback?
Yeah, Possum Fat
Booty.
I thought it was Fat Daddy Booty.
That's Roy.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Roy's a cool guy. Roy's really cool.
Yeah. How did
Man.
you get fat possum? I don't understand what you're. How'd you get fat something booty out of Possum Fatback?
That's what
Roy
I
is
thought
awesome.
you
Roy's a
He
really
is.
nice
He's
guy.
cool. Yeah. No,
I felt
Roy's good people.
honored. I'm like, damn, did Hank put him up to this?
No, no. Roy is a genuine gun dude, man.
Oh, 100%.
But I'm trying to figure out, how did he find me?
I don't know. He must have. Sometimes Roy watches the podcast and stuff like that. He pays attention to what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hey,
Or he
well,
maybe
Roy-
did you see him at NRA? He might have been. Was he at NRA?
I don't think I saw him there. But Roy,
Somebody may have tagged
next
you.
time you guys do something at Brownells, I would love to come up there and shoot as well.
Oh, so you're talking to Roy now, right? You're trying to.
Roy is
Direct.
Yeah, you and everyone else. But Brownells, I mean, they do a lot of stuff with people, so I wouldn't be surprised. They're always looking out there for different people in the firearms community. So, I'm always seeing them do a lot of things with a lot of different people.
And guess what? I'm as different as they come in the firearms community.
Brownells still making his pitch. I'm not gonna hate on you. But I would say that Brownells is different. Brownells is different from some other places that are very cliquey. I don't find them to be like cliquey like that. So yeah, they're down with everyone.
And the guy that owns Liberty Suppressors,
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Dave.
Yeah. Dave from Liberty. DCG 44 says, and unfollowed. No. Yeah. No, Roy is cool people. I'm trying to get Roy to come out here and do some shooting with us.
Yeah, we haven't seen him in a while.
Yeah, so I don't know. I have to figure out how to make that happen.
ask him what kind of beer he likes. I got it.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I could see
I'll
that.
bring a case.
What I really should do is I'm trying to see if I can, the next time Roy comes out, if we can maybe just do something at Aries.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, that way other people, because I don't really want to have too many people on our range, but it would be cool to do a range like that and then have Trey be in charge of all the festivities and do the major lifting. What's up?
I have a confession.
What?
I have a confession.
Uh-huh.
Once I found that you wasn't going to NRA, I started to get like a hair piece in a mohawk.
Oh, no.
And I have some glasses like yours.
Oh, boy.
And I was going to portray myself.
He pretended he was you.
You're going to pretend to be me? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I was going to be Hank Train.
It's feasible. I think there's lots of people who wouldn't be able to tell the difference. There's some people who wouldn't really know the difference.
I don't think I could get the accent down.
Yeah.
But,
Did you put, should we look at, like, where did you put all your pictures? Is it all on Facebook from the NRA, or is it on Instagram?
They're on Facebook, but I didn't take that many, actually.
Oh, okay. Did you run into the Guns Out dudes?
No, they weren't there.
Okay, because they had a different thing going on, right?
Yeah, they were at that other shoot that they had.
Yeah. Do you know the Guns Out dudes, Patrick? The guys from Guns Out TV? Yeah, these are let me see if I can show you a picture of the Guns Out guys right now. They were on the show. They've been on the show before. So here, this is our Shermichael right there. That's Shermichael. Yeah. And then this is John right here. And then there's Tonto and myself. So they're in the Maryland, Virginia area. And Shermichael is actually a former Republican strategist, and he has a TV show on MSNBC, like a conservative show. Yeah,
he's on MSNBC. Oh God.
Yeah,
Poor
But
guy.
they're legit gun guys, and Shermichael is a Republican. Well, he was a Republican strategist. I don't think he does that, but he's still obviously a conservative. So this is all this thing here is from that. But these guys had a they still have like it's on YouTube and different places now, but they had an actual TV show that was airing in Virginia and other places doing gun stuff. And then they got like, the powers that be came down against them. And they got kicked out of that, but they're still out there doing a lot of cool videos and all that kind of stuff. So they've been on the show. We'll try to actually get them back on the show here before we hit 1,000. But they're good dudes. I got to spend a bunch of time hanging out with them. So they're legit gun guys. But as you can see from this picture, let me see. I wonder if I could show this picture again to you guys here. Do you notice that everyone? Did you see how they're like trying to roll? Here I was trying to unroll his arms, like see that? Like
unroll his arms?
Yeah, the arms on the sleeves on the t-shirt, they were like rolling up their sleeves on their t-shirts all the time. See, like this. They were doing this all the time. See that?
Guns out. They gotta have the guns out.
Yeah, exactly. See it right there? They were
new hipster stuff.
Yeah, they were constantly doing that. That's like, when so for example, we've had Brandon Herrera on and he flips his hair.
Gotta have his hair out.
Yeah, he does the hair flip or whatever. That's kind of like the thing, man. From when I went to the airport to pick them up with the Fort Scott guys, and immediately as they landed from the plane, so they flew out from Maryland, okay, to Fort Scott to Kansas, and then they went sleeveless immediately. So. As they just landed and went sleeveless, that's like, I guess that's what the young, that's what the young people do. Yeah, I didn't know that was a thing, but I guess I don't do enough push-ups or weight curls or whatever it is that has to be done to show. You know what? Maybe I should put some tattoos all over my arms and then start like folding up my.
You get one of those. Just get one of those fake sleeves and play around for a little bit.
Right. Yeah, it's like what do you put on your sleeves? But John's actually a Marine. So like John is I don't know if you look at I think they have like a good personality together, but John was a Marine, and then Shermichael is like that, Republican strategist kind of dude, but they're into guns, so it's a cool thing that they have going on out there for anyone who has not see that. So, yeah, let's see what else. 42 Chill says call/write your reps.
Yeah, and it's never. Writing is great. No, I'll give them a call. What'll happen, because I call my reps routinely to tell them I think they're either doing a good job or, hey, vote. I think you should vote this way, blah, 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 whatever. Typically what happens when you call their office is a assistant will answer, and you say, hey, I just want to leave a message for my rep, and they'll ask for your info, and then leave your message with them. It's very, very straightforward. Yeah. I like to call somewhat so they know who I am. Maybe they'll learn who I am,
Yeah, and also don't be belligerent.
No, there's no reason.
I mean, I get, if you see them in person, I think you could be a little belligerent. But
we luckily
things,
the Congress and our representative, my representative, and my two congressmen are pro Second Amendment and conservative. I only have conservatives to deal with, so it's easy for me to just call and say, yeah, I like what you're doing, or this came up, you should look into this, that sort of stuff, and know that they're probably already aware of it. But no, if you have we used to have that one guy who was completely not so liberal, and I called him before and was like, this feels like a waste of my time, but I'm gonna do it anyway.
Is Kat McCormick? She's in Gainesville, right? I think she's my representative. Yeah, she's done some things I don't like either. I mean, in general, I like her. I've actually. I'm trying to remember exactly now. I'd have to go look at my Instagram, because whenever I see even the people I voted for or I like doing dumb shit, I always bring it up, so I'll go here and look it up and bring it up.
There's,
But just call them on
I don't
what they
think
do.
you're ever going to be, unless you were sitting there voting. I don't think you will ever be 100% happy with your representatives. It's just not possible.
But you got to call them on what they do. Here's an email that I got from GOA. Let me see if I can flip it this way and share it with you guys here a little bit. In a stroke of irony, gun grabbers are using the recent shootings in Buffalo and Uvalde to push federal legislation implementing middle-of-the-night gun confiscation raids. Unfortunately, unprincipled senators who campaign on supporting gun rights are talking favorably about it. Senate Republicans are looking for compromise, and Minority Leader Mitch McConnell has tasked a high-ranking Republican in the Senate to work out a compromise which will undoubtedly entail more gun control. So that's, and then, there's, this is from Lauren Fox. Fox reports, McConnell tells me he met this morning with Texas Senator John Cornyn after he returned from Texas and encouraged him to begin discussions with Dems, including Senators Murphy and Sinema, to see if they can find a consensus on some legislation to respond to the shooting in Texas. So
call right now for anybody that's listening or watching. Tomorrow, wake up and give your people a call and tell them no compromise. Zero compromise is what we're looking for. We don't need any more. Force whatever we have on the books right now. You need to be enforcing and not adding more to it. No compromise.
Yeah, I would.
They will not compromise with us. We will not compromise with them. They can suck it.
Yeah, don't vote for those people. I mean, ultimately, we're not gonna comply with any of the bullshit. But
I sent something last week to him.
Yeah.
Be the squeaky wheel. Remember that squeaky wheel always gets the grease. Be that squeaky wheel in their ear, letting them know that, listen, I'm watching what you're doing. I'm paying attention. I'm one of your constituents. I voted for you or whatever. I want you to not compromise on this. There's no reason to compromise.
Yeah, I agree with that. Rod, did you want to add something here?
Hey, pretty much I sent him a letter too. That GOA prefab letter. I added my website on there. Say shit, check me out.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm always marketing, man.
Yeah, I think. Well, yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna knock that. Go ahead.
So one thing is, sending those form letters is good and all. I personally like to call on my own instead. I think it means more if somebody were to call me on their own than to send a form letter, but that's just the way I am.
Yeah. And honestly, I think that I'm not saying that when you see these people, you can't give them a piece of your mind, because I think that if you see them out there and they're campaigning and all that, you have to let them know that people are watching what they do, and in some cases, folks need to run against them if they're not serious, about you really need to make sure they're living up to what they said. So I'm trying to find on my social media. I know there was something that I was complaining about, Kat McCormick, for example. You got to keep all these guys on their toes. I just think we cannot trust them with anything. And ultimately, once those folks get in there, it's all about their careers. That's just...
Absolutely.
That's just the game.
They just need to be reminded who put them there and what we expect of them.
Yeah. That's the thing.
Light a fire.
Huh?
Light a fire.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Let's see. Lola.
You start winding it up.
Yeah, I'm gonna start winding it up here in a minute. Actually, there was something that Lola wanted me to share with everyone. Let me do that before I get in trouble. First of all. Here we go. I think this was relative to what we were talking about. That's why she wanted to show it. Ohio Senate expected to vote on bill lowering training for arming teachers. Ohio Republicans are moving to lower training requirements for teachers who want to carry guns following the mass shooting at Robb Elementary School, where 19 children and 2 teachers died. But how low they go appears to be up to Senator Frank Hoagland, Republican, Mingo Junction. And I guess that's, the retired Navy SEAL folded major sections of his own school protection legislation into House Bill 99 Tuesday afternoon, setting up a potential vote by the full Senate Wednesday. So, yeah. a lot of things get snuck in on all this stuff too. I think that's one of the things that we have to be careful with, because it's a great opportunity. Like right now, they'll make these things look like they're doing, oh, we're doing something about what's happening. Then they sneak in a lot of bullshit into the bills that they put up there. So you guys have to really be on the lookout for that, I think, at all times. So, okay, listen, I think what we're going to do here, especially since Rod, excuse me, why did I just say Rod Mills likes to, promote Scorched Earth, and we didn't talk about it. I'm going to give you a second here, Rod, and then we'll go to Babyface P. Tell the folks out there how, how they can... You got 30 seconds to tell everyone where they could find you, how they could support you, all that stuff.
All right. You guys can support me by going to my Facebook page, Scorched Earth Firearms Training. I'm on Twitter. You don't have to, if you want to send me a like on YouTube, that's fine. Eventually I get to 1,000. I'm also on Instagram, scorched_earth_firearms. Or if you ever just want to look at my
We wouldn't be able to keep the Who Moved My Freedom podcast going without the support of manufacturers like Safety Harbor Firearms. SHF is a quintessential family-owned small business, totally representative of the American dream. Safety Harbor Firearms is a Florida-based manufacturer of the compact entry stock and the SHTF 50 upper for an AR-15 lower. Also, SHF happily delivers on your Sten gun parts needs. So don't forget to check out stenparts.com and safetyharborfirearms.com.
Yeah, I know I'm laughing in the background. I don't think Rod Mills was laughing in the background. Where'd you get cut off, Rod? Sorry.
I'm like, damn, that was cool.
I was trying to tell you. Oh, look at you being high tech.
If you just want to go to my website,
pause it right now and wait. Let me see if I put my camera on there. If it goes, does it see anything from that? No, I don't know. My camera's not seeing anything from your. Oh, here we go. Yeah, I found it. Okay.
Your camera's jacked up.
No, because if it's blurred a little bit, you can't see it. So okay, Patrick, Babyface P. Tell the folks.
YouTube.com/babyfaceP or Instagram is baby_faceP. I have some stuff coming. Don't know when it'll come out, but it'll be soon.
Right. There you go. And that's what happens when you click that thing that Rod Mills is showing. It takes you to Scorched Earth right there. You can get a whole bunch of different kinds of training from Rod Mills, especially if you're in the Jacksonville area. You're not going out anywhere to do this stuff, are you?
Actually, I do have a seminar that I'm going to be sharing with Musad Ayub in June. I'm sorry, June.
Oh,
and
look at you. You're hobnobbing with the elite of the gun world.
I told him I was Hank Strange, and he said, "Oh, come on."
And you didn't. Oh, okay. Then I wouldn't expect him to show up. I would not. I would not expect him to. But Musad Ayub is right. He's in Florida.
Yeah, he's in
Florida. Yeah. Okay, cool. So listen, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna run in the end, and then we're gonna come back here. Who's doing words of wisdom, Patrick?
Patrick.
Okay.
Are you doing it, or you want to make Rod do it?
Go.
Okay, you're gonna do it. Okay, no, Patrick is ready. He's totally not Googling anything right now. We're gonna listen. I want to thank everyone for joining us here, hanging out with us. We'll be back tomorrow as well. Let me just run in the end here, and we'll be right back here in a second for words of wisdom. All right, guys, thanks so much for hanging out with us here. Remember, we're going to rip the audio out of this, throw it up on iTunes. It's going to be on Podbean. It's going to be on Audible, all your favorite places to listen to your audio podcast. We're part of the Firearms Radio Network, which is awesome. So shout out to everyone who's listening to us through that. 42 Chills says Maz is good. Yeah, he's good. I've actually never met him, but I do think he's cool. And I did see the picture of Rod Mills hanging out with him at NRA. So, all right. Babyface P, you of the blanket, what have you to say?
Remember to step back and take a break from everything every now and then. You can't be going 24/7 all the time. Vacation is needed. Time off is needed. But let yourself have that and enjoy it.
Okay, I'll go for that. That's good for me. I thought he was going to throw in something about the blanket and say, "Don't touch my blankie." You touch my blankie, you get a spanky.
Hank,
what?
Before we sign off, can you do that? Your famous Tiny Tim.
Oh, God bless us, everyone. All right. We're out of here. That's enough of that. All right, we'll see you guys. We're out of here. Let me press the buttons. I don't know why that's cracking you.